Imagine this. You walk into a bakery with a bag full of cash. We're talking millions. You put it on the counter, and the baker shakes his head. You still can't buy a single loaf of bread. That was Germany, November 1923. Money had become so worthless that people burned bundles of banknotes for warmth because firewood cost more. The entire German economy had completely collapsed, and yet, just a few years later, this same broken, starving country had the most powerful military in all of Europe. Tanks, warplanes, submarines. They were occupying France, Poland, and Austria. How?
The answer is one of the greatest financial scams in human history. And today, on Relentium Mind, we expose it completely. After World War I, Germany lost everything. The Treaty of Versailles placed full blame for the war on Germany and forced them to pay $2 billion every single year in war reparations. The Weimar government had no real money, so they did what desperate governments do. They printed more. That decision destroyed the country. January 1923, 18,000 German marks bought $1 US. By July, 305,000 marks. By November, 4.2 trillion marks for a single dollar. Restaurants changed prices every 30 minutes. Workers were paid twice a day because money lost value by the hour. Life savings couldn't buy bread. Germany was barely recovering when the 1929 Great Depression hit. Banks collapsed. 6 million families sold their furniture just to eat. Engineers were begging on the streets. Riots everywhere. The government had no answers. And into this total despair, Hitler walked in. Hitler promised to restore Germany's glory, jobs for everyone, a rebuilt military, a powerful nation again. But he faced 3 walls that seemed impossible to break through. Wall 1. The Treaty of Versailles strictly forbade Germany from rebuilding its military. Army capped at 100,000. No tanks, no planes, no submarines. Wall 2. Germany had no money. The economy was in ruins. Wall 3. Everything had to be done in total secrecy, because if Britain or France discovered Germany was rearming, they would respond immediately. Hitler needed money that didn't exist, spent in a way that left no trace. He found the answer in one man, the most dangerous banker you've never heard of.
His name was Hjalmar Schacht. He had already saved Germany once. In 1923, when hyperinflation was at its worst, Schacht stabilized the currency by tying it to real assets, land, and industry. The economy recovered almost overnight. On March 17, 1933, just weeks after Hitler took power, Schacht was made president of the Reichsbank. A year later, finance minister. His mission: fund Germany's secret rearmament without printing money, without inflation, and without leaving any foreign detectable trail. In 1934, he invented something that had never been done before at this scale: invisible money. Schacht created a company called the Metallurgical Research Society, MEFO for short. On paper, a private research firm. In reality, a ghost. No office, no employees, no products. Just a bank account with 1 million Reichsmarks and some official letterheads. 4 of Germany's biggest weapons manufacturers, Krupp, Siemens, IG Farben, Rheinmetall, were brought in as shareholders. These companies had the technology to build tanks, planes, and submarines. And then the real game started. The German government placed weapons orders with these factories, but instead of paying cash, they paid in MEFO Bills, government IOUs backed by this fake company. The factories accepted the bills because they knew the government was behind them, but bills don't pay workers or buy steel. So the factories took those bills to private banks and exchanged them for real Reichsmarks. The private banks then took those same MEFO bills to the Reichsbank and exchanged them for real money too. Here is the most terrifying detail of the entire scheme. When the Reichsbank gave money to the private banks, they didn't print a single new banknote. They just wrote numbers in a ledger, pen on paper, an entry in a book.
The money existed because everyone in the chain agreed it existed, a national financial hallucination engineered on purpose. And because it passed through layers of companies and banks, foreign governments had nothing to trace. It looked like ordinary commercial activity. In just 4 years, the Reichsbank quietly issued 12 billion Reichsmarks in phantom money, more than Germany's entire national debt at the time. With this invisible money, Hitler rebuilt the German military from scratch, a fully equipped army, an air force, a submarine fleet, all funded with money that technically did not exist. By 1938, Germany had violated every clause of the Versailles Treaty and become the most powerful military force in Europe. The world had barely noticed.
But every scam has an expiry date. The MEFO Bills had a 5-year maturity term. The first ones were issued in 1934. By 1939, Germany had to repay 12 billion Reichsmarks it never actually had. At the same time, Germany's foreign reserves were draining fast. To build a war machine, you need iron, oil, rubber, all imported, all paid in foreign currency. But Germany was exporting nothing. Foreign money was flowing out, nothing was flowing back in. 2 crises, 1 deadline, 0 solutions. Print money, hyperinflation. Don't print, bankruptcy. Either way, collapse. Schacht begged Hitler to stop, cut military spending, pull back. Hitler fired him, later threw him in a concentration camp. Because Hitler already knew the only exit from this trap. War, not as a choice, but as a financial survival mechanism. March 1938. Germany invaded Austria. The official reason, political unity. The real reason, Austria's gold reserves, foreign currency, and industrial assets. Hitler seized all of it. 6 months later, Czechoslovakia's Sudetenland, the most advanced military-industrial region in Europe, seized. Then all of Czechoslovakia. Then Poland for its farmland, minerals, and forced labor. Think about what this actually was, a Ponzi scheme at continental scale. A Ponzi scheme survives as long as new investors keep coming. The moment they stop, it collapses. Hitler's war economy survived as long as new countries kept being conquered. Each conquest funded the previous war. Austria paid the MEFO debt. Czechoslovakia funded Poland. Poland funded France. When France was occupied, Germany charged them 400 million francs per day as occupation fees. The machine had to keep moving. The moment it stopped, everything would fall apart.
In 1943, the Battle of Stalingrad, Germany's first catastrophic defeat. For the first time, there was no new country to loot. The war costs kept rising. The income stopped. The same phantom money that built the empire now destroyed it. By 1945, Hitler's economy, his military, and his life all ended within weeks of each other. The lesson isn't just about Hitler. It's about what happens when a government replaces real economics with illusion, and when a desperate population stops asking questions. Desperate people believe in miracles, and someone always shows up to sell them one. Subscribe to Relentium Mind, because history isn't just what happened, it's what they didn't teach you. See you in the next one.